Hey, I'm Lauren with Alternative Nation. I'm here with Joyous Wolf after their set opening for Slash in Huntington, New York.
Hi, I'm Nick.
I'm Greg.
I'm Robert.
I'm Blake.
And I'm Ringo.
So you guys excited about opening for Slash tonight? Like, how did that feel?
Incredible.
Yeah.
Didn't believe it was real until the second we stepped on stage.
I still kind of don't believe it happened.
Yeah.
I'll believe it tomorrow.
Yeah, I'll believe it tomorrow, exactly.
So you guys recently, earlier this year, you signed to Roadrunner, which is the same label that Slash is on, and
Yes.
Korn and Stone Sour and a lot of the other hard rock bands.
Go
I mean,
Shira.
that's crazy.
Yeah.
How did Roadrunner come into play? How did that become a thing?
You want to tell a story?
Well, we played Aftershock Festival last October, like a year ago, and Dave from Roadrunner was just watching, and that's pretty much that's where it came from. Crazy.
He was sold.
That was like our job interview.
I wish it was more interesting.
Yeah.
We played a show and then he liked it, I guess.
That's all it takes. I mean,
I guess, yeah.
People just kept bugging him to see us. Or like the first show we played on that run at Sonic Boom Festival. Corey Taylor was off to the side.
Corey's just like giving the nod from side stage.
Yeah, it's like,
Yeah.
What?
and that's the guy from not just Stone Sour, but that's
Freaking
Slipknot.
Slipknot.
That's like Slipknot
Yeah.
giving you guys the approval. That's pretty crazy.
At Louder Than Life the next day, I was with him in the artist thing with our manager Scott, and Lacuna Coil was there, and I was like, "That's Lacuna Coil," and he's just like, "You want to meet them?" And I was like, "Yeah," and he introduced me as vocalist of Joyous Wolf. This is Nick Reese, vocalist of Joyous Wolf, and Scott Frazier, our manager, is right there going like, like, it was just like, I was just like shaking. I'm like, this is the, like,
Smiling,
I never thought I'd be friendly with the scary dude from Slipknot.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I first saw you guys play at Louder Than Life last year.
Oh,
And,
nice.
I mean, obviously blown away by the sound, but then Nick came out doing these antics on stage. So how did that become kind of like adopted into your on-stage presence?
I think it was the music kind of called for it, because in the very beginning we were different. Like Greg, believe it or not, wasn't a bass player always, and the music when we first started with was much more like just not the same. And it called for different things. It was more like sort of straightforward. And when he joined, he brought an element of groove and funk stuff that he and Robert would play on their own time because they knew each other before that. And I love funk music, and I love James Brown, and I love Prince and Michael Jackson, and so many other performers who were just dynamic. Like, and I thought, like, if I'm going to be able to do things like this, I need to be able to push it just a little bit further. And I'm like, well, what didn't they do? And I'm like, well, they didn't do that, so I'll do that.
They didn't play over rock music.
They didn't play over rock music. But seriously, it was all just because the music gave me the vacancy to do that.
Cool.
You know? It just
So-
felt right.
Well, you guys are on a tour right now. What is the difference between playing those types of big festivals versus playing venues like tonight?
Intimacy. The light is on you. You can't see anything else. You have to look at what's happening up here. If you're looking over there, it's just dark walls and flashing lights against the wall. But that you can just connect with people completely differently than when you're on stage at a festival.
Yeah.
Especially when they don't know who you are. Like, as opposed to like us going and playing Louder Than Life, where no one knew who we were. The reception is. It's not so much that they don't like it. They're just kind of like, this. They don't really.
There's
know.
definitely more of a disconnect.
They're
on the festival
processing.
stage than, like, a
Yeah.
club.
And here, like, they can get to know you. They can kind of see everything. And, everything's bright and loud and colorful. And it's different. It's an enclosed space, so everything's a lot more put together.
I mean, I have to say, I saw Slash 8 days ago. Tonight was my 11th time.
Oh,
Wow.
I'm a
man.
Psycho fan. Between Guns N' Roses and Miles Kennedy, like, I've seen Slash a ton of times.
Wow.
And the opener last week did not impress the crowd the way that you guys did. So just wanted to point that
Lots
out.
of good
That
stuff.
means a lot. Yeah.
Thank you.
We had a blast.
Awesome. And I mean, everybody obviously got really down to your cover of Mississippi Queen because, that's a really popular song. So that is one of two of your recent releases, that and Slow Hand, which is an original.
Yes.
So what made you guys decide to do a studio cover of Mississippi Queen?
I think we were actually planning on doing a cover of Mississippi Queen anyways, and
At least live, yeah.
yeah, and it was suggested from Dave to I guess.
And it worked out well because we already loved the song, so it was natural to play.
Yeah, because we were
record
gonna
it.
jam it live anyway. So the fact that it was actually gonna be like recorded in the studio, we're like, well, if we're gonna do it, we're gonna make it sound like the best possible we can. So it ended up working out pretty well.
Studied it. Like they ripped
Yeah.
it apart. It was, and I'm just there being like, I just need to sing
You,
good.
you have to. I mean, like
Yeah.
it's such a good song.
You
You
wanna do
can't
it justice.
not. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
You have to respect the music, you know.
90% of what we wanted to do with the song was just to promote Mountain, because not enough people know about Mountain. You know, they just don't. You know, especially a lot of the new like rock movies, like Guns N' Roses, or this and this and this and this, and then just for whatever reasons, like there was these bands that inspired those bands that just kind of.
It's really
fall
crazy.
They love to
Having
art,
someone
yeah.
come to you and be like, "Wow, I really love your song, Mississippi Queen." It's like
That's not
that's
our
not
song.
ours.
No.
Like, thank you. I wish.
I
But
had a girl on Instagram DM me being like, "What's Mississippi Queen about?" And I was like,
I ain't ready.
I read it.
why don't you guys?
I imagine it's about a woman. I think.
Lucky guess.
Lucky guess.
So speaking of covers, because like I said, I'm a journalist and I have to be kind of creepy. I saw you guys did a live cover of Soundgarden's Rusty Cage.
Oh
The Rock Allegiance.
Okay, first of all, it was fucking awesome.
Oh, okay.
And
Thank you.
second of all,
Mm.
Alternative Nation used to be called Grunge Report, so those are really the main artists that we typically focus on. What does Soundgarden mean to you guys?
Oh, that's a big question.
boy! Soundgarden's amazing. I mean, it's what got me into grunge, and Matt Cameron's like part of the reason why I love playing drums. And someday we were just like, hey, let's do Rusty Cage. And then we did it at the Slide Bar once, and that went so well.
Yeah,
it was
that-
so fun.
that was a
The
version to
song
be
is
proud
so
of.
good.
Yeah. Anyone
It's
trying to sing Chris Cornell is like already trying to shoot yourself. So.
Yeah, I was tired, and this is one of those things. Well, I'm sure like a lot of people, generally the response for the video has been positive.
Yeah, I mean, people
And-
were moshing to it. I was
Yeah.
like,
Yeah,
wow,
that
what's
was
this?
Yeah, totally.
I really were moshing to Turning Blue that day.
That was
Yeah, that was
that was
Because
so
people at
funny.
festivals are psychotic. I
Yeah.
saw them moshing to Sweet Child of Mine when Slash did it. I was like, this is a fucking love song. Like,
Yeah.
why are there people kicking me in the head?
Yeah.
But I mean, Soundgarden's been one of the giants for
Yeah.
us.
Oh, yeah.
And we're
Yeah.
very upset we didn't get to see them live.
Yeah.
It was really
Yeah.
weird.
We were lucky to see Tumble the Dog.
We
did
see
that.
that.
Listen, you
That's
see
a great
Chris
story.
Cornell was
Yeah.
like,
In
Yeah.
any
it's-
shape or form, that
you
was.
have to. There's so
yeah.
many people who haven't. Like, people reach out to me all the time. They're like,
Mm.
you're so lucky you got to see. I saw him with Soundgarden 3 times and do
Oh.
a solo tour, his songbook tour, like
Wow.
by himself on
Well,
stage.
We were so bummed because Soundgarden headlined Rock on the Range last year. We played it this year. It's like we were off by 1 year.
It was
Yeah.
very like just like
Yeah.
It was so
kind of
out
spooky.
of, out of left field.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Because-
very spooky.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
for us, it's like it's so embedded in our style and our music.
Yeah.
So it was very like we went. I think and it showed in the performance. I think it was definitely just this sort of gravity to that one particular show we did. I think.
So what do you guys think about Rock and Roll Hall of Fame situation? Because like, you know, LL Cool J is a nominee, and Soundgarden's not even a year after Chris passing, and Alice in Chains isn't, and Stone Temple
I
Pilots
think
still
the
aren't.
Rock and Roll Hall of Fame is kind of bullshit.
There's
Yeah,
a bunch of
when's the
bullshit.
last time it was actually taken seriously?
I mean, at least
it's
Rage
been a
is in there,
while.
but like,
Yeah.
The fact it took
Yeah.
them that long to induct Rush is like the
God.
fact that Joe Cocker is not in the Hall of Fame,
Yeah, it's-
and not just him, but like them isn't in the Hall of Fame. Like there's all of these like monoliths of music that are not inducted, and for some reason Green Day. No offense to Green Day, I'm just saying like because Green Day is cool, but I'm saying but Green Day getting in before Nirvana still confuses me.
Oh yeah.
The politics of it is weird. I'm like, why the fuck is there politics in a rock band being celebrated?
yeah.
It's just really weird. It doesn't
It
match
makes it
up.
seem
want-
not legitimate
Yeah.
at all.
I wanted Jack Irons to be inducted twice in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame because he's already inducted from Chili
I mean, that's
Yeah.
happened to other people. It's happened to other bands.
It seems like just like a snub to rock and roll in general.
I think
Yeah,
so.
yeah, I don't take
Yeah.
it seriously anymore.
Like
No.
Ice Cube a couple years ago said like
Yeah.
NWA, like we, you know, rock and roll and rap artists were all inspired by the same blues people. Okay, so then can you call Led Zeppelin rap? Is that what we're saying? Like,
What I will say in their defense, if Rage Against the Machine can be in the Hall of Fame,
Yeah.
and so can NWA. NWA
Yeah, that's
and
Rage is rap. It's
rock and roll.
Yeah.
Rock and roll is again. It's this weird thing that I've been preaching since we started getting out into the world. Is that it's an attitude. It's not a sound. The sound is way too broad now. We can like in the '50s we could say it's a sound. But it just branched into this giant thing. How can going to California and immigrant song? How can they?
Nice.
Thank you for saving me. How can that be both considered rock and roll? You know, like if it's a sound, it's not a sound. It's an attitude. It's the energy of rock and roll. And now it's like this whole thing where it's everyone just wants to have some kind of weird divide. There needs to be some kind of argument, and it's like it doesn't need to. Rap is awesome. Like the early rap is like it's
badass.
It's badass.
Yeah.
It's these
Compared to
guys
today.
who are messed up.
Yeah.
You know, grew up in shit places, and they made something out of it, and it's
Yeah.
art, and it's awesome. You know, and again, just like rock and roll was that way. It was these guys who had this sound, had this stuff, and they brought it out of the life that they lived, and it cultivated into something really, really awesome. And now it's like, but the same thing happens. Is like everything gets watered down. The farther it goes, it waters down.
The people take it and
Yeah,
it's
they
like,
do.
yeah.
And that's what happens to these genres. And that's why everyone's like, oh, rock is dead. You know what? A big portion of it, I don't blame people for saying that, because it's just like, what even is this? How many songs about whiskey do we need? You know, like, I'm not saying that whiskey's not good. Whiskey's amazing. But I'm saying, but it used to be about, just like rock used to be about talking about things, whether it was going to school and not liking your teacher, or about
It's supposed to be inclusive, not
or about
Right.
a war, you know, or about anything. You could write a song literally about anything, you know. And now for some reason it's like it can only be about this, and you can only dress like this, and you can only go to this bar. I don't know. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Okay, so going off of that, what I think stands out about you guys, they're playing a lot of music where I personally am not a huge fan of a lot of it because it's just so heavily produced.
Yeah.
There's
that's
certain bands, and I don't
yeah.
want to name drop, but they
Yeah.
sound like they're playing machines as opposed to
Absolutely.
playing
They are.
instruments.
They are.
True.
Absolutely.
So,
Doesn't sound like they
Yeah.
actually are,
but why, like, genuinely did you choose to go for the raw sound?
because it's real, and that's
Yeah.
just how
Yeah.
we've always played. It wasn't like an on purpose thing. That's just how we've always played.
That's how music started, and that's the root of music. Is no one
You
back
can- you
way
can hear the
back in
difference.
time. You in order to hear music, you had to hear a performance of it. You had to hear people playing it before anyone could record audio.
Yeah, there's
So-
a way different feeling that you can pick up from the band actually putting like energy into a performance and playing live versus like we were talking about overproduced.
Yeah, I don't think we definitely didn't go for a raw sound. We just didn't want to press a keyboard for a guitar. That seems like bullshit to me, in my opinion.
We just did our sound.
Yeah.
We're like,
That's the thing,
our-
we'd like to sound like us. Thank you.
Yeah.
You know, like that's.
Our recording is literally just the four of us playing.
Yeah,
That's
like
it.
we want us to sound like a bigger live version, just blaring the shit out of your car stereo.
Yes.
That's our hope.
We wanted to capture the energy that we had, and
Yes.
Yeah, and that's
Yeah.
the goal. That's
Yeah.
totally the goal.
Especially because you don't want to be one of those bands where the recording sounds amazing and perfect, and you see them live and it's like,
Which
Yeah.
is a lot of
Which
it.
is a lie.
You know, I mean,
Which
the
is a lie.
opposite is bad too. Like, you sound excellent live, and then
Yeah,
your
that's
song
true.
That's
sounds
very
shit.
true.
Yeah.
Sometimes
Yeah.
overproducing can get in the way of
Yeah.
great bands making
Yeah.
great records.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Like,
I also
put them in a room and play. It's gonna be way better.
that kind of relationship too, I think, is actually part of the problem. A lot of bands go to seek out producers, and then somewhere things just like priorities get scattered, and the bands aren't happy or the producers aren't happy. We're in a really fortunate position now to be with an awesome team who like captured exactly what we wanted, how we wanted it, and we can sleep at night knowing that we
that
thoroughly
you're listening
enjoy
to
our music.
us on
Yeah.
the recording, not anything.
There's no auto-tune, no samples, like we're just being ourselves.
It's really disappointing to feel like that's like an achievement.
See?
The fact that it's like, hey, why do you sound like you sound? because we do. You know, I'm not against you. I'm saying that just in general, like it's sad that
But
it's
it's
like
true though.
my producer Howard Benson, you know, says this through gritted teeth. You know, being like, this is the first. This is the first vocal. I love the guy. He gave us a chance and he fought for us, and he has a lot to do with why we're on Roadrunner and why it happened so quickly, and he really stuck his leg out for us, you know, and but he told me that this is the first record he's done without auto-tune in like 25 years, and it's not wrong. You listen to his other stuff and people are like, is that auto-tune? I'll tell you, when you know it's auto-tune, for people that like they want to start experimenting with how you can know if it is or isn't, everything feels like it's almost as if
It's very streamlined.
it's like a pencil versus a pen. Yeah, it sounds stupid.
That too.
Mistakes are what
Yeah.
make
Black Sabbath.
good.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
I mean, what's crazy to me is like when there are bands with amazing singers and
And
like
they still get auto.
and they still get auto-tuned,
Yeah.
and I'm like, and
It's
now it's
wild.
a
Selling them
style, and I'm like, that's a bunch of shit, and you know it. Anyone who says that, you know that it's a style, it's just like it's corrosive to the industry, because suddenly it's like, oh, we don't need talent anymore. We can just have a dude.
So they can just make everything themselves,
Yeah.
and you know.
Yeah, it's like
We're hoping that our record shows that there's a reason that you should try.
It doesn't even have to just be just for rock. It's just
Yeah.
anything. Just to
Exactly.
sound real.
We just want I wish that I wish that we could listen to more bands and like get a feeling for who they are. You know, there's so many people where you like listen to it and then you go see it live and you're like, I still don't know. Like there's two different.
And that's really the
perspectives.
reason why we like older bands, not just because they're older and throwback, but it's because you're listening to real bands.
Yeah.
That you're
Yeah.
listening to the real thing.
that's what I say.
Yeah.
Exactly.
All the time. I'm like, you know,
Thank you.
modern rock is what makes me go back to older rock.
Exactly.
It's
Like-
true.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm like
Yeah.
sitting there fucking listening to the Doors.
Yeah.
Hell
Which,
yeah.
speaking of, you guys recorded in Sunset Sound.
We did.
Oh my god, this guy did.
Yes.
He fucking
You
killed
really
it.
did.
Whenever
yeah.
I think about that,
You did great. You did great.
No, yeah, no. I know.
It's like, hey, guess what? John Bonham recording this room. No pressure.
Yeah.
It was pretty crazy. Like you saw, like you followed me on social media. You saw me when I went to
You
gyms.
screaming, break on through.
Yeah, it was amazing. It was fucking. I couldn't help it. It was like oh my god.
I love the Doors.
The personality of a singer has always been the things that aren't perfect about them. You know, like you listen to the Doors, for example. Jim is not a perfect singer. He's not by a long
supposed to
shot.
be.
He's not really that great.
Can you imagine if he went into if freaking one of these producers who just does like that's their whole thing? If he went in there today and went, you know, like some of the stuff he pulls on some of the tracks, like you'd think they'd be like, that's great. No, they'd be like, what the fuck was that?
Do that again.
Yeah.
REM records, you can't understand a fucking word he's saying. It's just literally like the song's good, it doesn't matter, you know, like, but it's the personality in the voice you get. That's what you're attached to.
You can't recreate that.
Do you guys have a story behind Slow Hand?
But Slow Hand was about. I had a dream about this kid who is schizophrenic, and but he's got savant smarts. He can calculate like crazy numbers, and it takes place in like the early 1900s, and people don't really understand what's wrong with him, so they think he's slow and weird. So a company guy takes advantage of the fact. This like company, I don't know. I can't explain. I don't know what they do, but they just take advantage of this guy, this kid, and they keep him there for a long time, and they just abuse his gift and they sedate him so that he doesn't. Because again, that's what they say. Oh, we'll give him this medicine and he'll feel better. But in reality, he's just like a mindless drone. And it's got I think it's got a little bit to do with like medications being given to like me and even Robert when we were kids. Where it kind of like, you know, again, you give them the stuff and you pull it, the farther you pull it back, you know, and then once it's gone, you know, like all hell breaks loose. Like your personality comes flying in because it doesn't happen naturally. It's like you're set back. So he's just trapped there, and eventually one day he doesn't take the medicine and he burns the factory down, and that's what I wrote the song about.
What drugs do you take before you go to sleep?
I don't take drugs.
He is sober.
So yeah, so EP in January. So what's What can be expected, and where the fuck is Mountain Man? I wanted to
It's
hear
gonna be
on-
on the. Yeah.
Say it, whatever.
It's gonna be on the EP.
Yeah.
Okay.
New and approved.
Yeah, the shitty like homemade version is finally.
I didn't think that was shitty.
Well, if you didn't think that was shitty, all I can say is
Yo,
hey,
people
hold
don't
on
let
to your
anyone-
pants, ladies and gentlemen. That's all I will say.
So where are you guys going next?
Hey, Chicago.
What's
Chicago?
What's
Yeah.
happening next? Like,
Thanks. We're finishing this tour with Royal Bliss that we're on right now.
Then we're
They're
gonna
awesome guys.
do it again.
Same thing in November.
Yeah.
Mm.
So just touring out the rest of the year and just trying to play in front of as many people as possible. Promote the new single, and which has been really awesome. The people watching this, thank you for playing the song so many times.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
We've had good response so
Yeah.
far for coming out in such a short time,
Yeah.
so it's been cool.
With like next to no promotion.
yeah, it's been less than 2 weeks,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, well, this is Joyous Wolf, and I've said it before. Stay tuned because they're gonna be big. I couldn't
Oh,
say
God.
who I said that about, but
Big in like one small country somewhere on
get used to the name Joyous Wolf because these
We're
guys
so
are gonna
getting
make
used to
it.